And when I first took the test, I was thinking, oh yeah, I could meet, I will get to see some people that I'm related to, but I thought, what are the chances of it being someone closer than a third cousin?
Sure.
Had no idea it was going to be a brother and a sister and a grandpa and another couple second cousins, and now a whole shit ton more, because after the family found out about it, they all started sending their DNA in.
And now the more people who are involved, the bigger the pool, and now everybody's finding out more about everybody else.
Correct.
But you were having health problems, and this DNA test for the 23andMe, not trying to get ahead of things, but it shed some light on perhaps where your health problems were coming from.
Well, actually, the 23andMe test itself said I had a predisposition to nothing. It said I was healthy as a horse.
Okay, but that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case.
Outside of the depression, you had physical problems.
I had been having high blood pressure, and I didn't really understand what high blood pressure was when I first started having it. I didn't know how important it was to keep it at a level. But it was getting up there.
What was high?
195 over 120.
That's high.
Uh-huh. And so the doctor put me on some medicines that some were helping, some were not. And we were kind of testing out a few, but the medicines weren't really working to get it under 150 over 100.
Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, isn't that great?
No. Well, after I had met this sister, which, is a whole nother story about the first week, but after we got to know each other a little bit and kind of developed an online relationship, I just mentioned to her, and she's a nurse, by the way, and happened to mention to her that I'd been having high blood pressure. And then she right away said, well, you have a first cousin that's 2 years younger than you, or was, that died last year of kidney failure, and it all started with high blood pressure. And she said, can I see your blood tests? And they're all online through the hospital, so I gave her my password, and she got on there, and within a minute, she said, you have kidney disease, because my GFR, which stands for your glomerular filtration rate, was under 60, and it's kind of what tells the doctor how well your kidneys are working.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was at 45.
Ouch.
And at 15, you're on dialysis, which is what actually happened to my cousin, because he didn't go to the doctor until he was at 15. And he right away needed 2 transplants and dialysis, and he died in his 50s. So, went in for...
But you were under a doctor's care at this time.
Correct.
Why did the nurse catch it and the doctor did not?
There's a big question there, which I...
What did the doctor say when you said, hey, my
sister? He didn't say a whole lot.
Well, what could he say?
Right. He just said, the day I got my test back, because as soon as I told him, I went in and told him I have a new sister, and I have a family history now, and this is what my sister said. And so he ordered another blood test. Well, then it comes back, and he's like, yeah, your kidneys aren't functioning as well as they should be. Well,
no shit.
They weren't 6 tests ago either.
Yeah.
So
so you suspect that maybe he ran the 17th test and said, oh, well, this is why. Maybe as an excuse, or who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
It's just lazy, I think.
Well, but to be fair, maybe there's 14,000 different things that you can be looking for. And your sister focused in on the one thing that she suspected based on family history.
That is true.
And he didn't know that because of your lack of family history. She knew this.
Correct.
She knew this because she knew the family.
Correct.
And he did not. And you probably didn't share with her that you had a first cousin who died of kidney failure because you didn't know.
Correct.
Because you were adopted.
Correct.
So maybe it was just a comedy of errors, and that's why they call it practicing medicine, because they haven't figured it out yet.
That is very true. I never really looked at it like that, but that is very true. Because you want to jump on him right away because you think he missed it 6 times.
Yeah.
But then again, how low? It wasn't down to 45 the first 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
It was just barely under 60, and didn't get under 45 until I'd been for about 2 years.
Sure. So you were diagnosed with kidney disease.
Correct.
What did they do from that point on?
Then they sent me in for an MRI because all he knows now is my kidneys aren't functioning correctly.
But he doesn't know why.
Right.
Then that's and to be honest, your sister didn't either. She just identified
Correct.
it. So now he had to find out why they weren't.
Mm-hmm. So they ran an MRI and they found significant blockage in my left renal artery, which meant my left kidney wasn't getting very little blood and it was developing kidney damage.
Okay.
And so within 2 weeks, they had me in and put a stent in, just like heart patients. And immediately my GFR went up to 63, and my blood pressure now is relatively okay. I haven't checked it in a while, but last time I checked it, it was like 97/70.
That's very good.
Yeah.
What was, I think 97 is great. Was it 120?
120/80 is what it was my whole life.
Yeah, that's kind of anything above that they don't like.
Right. Especially the bottom number.
Right. So life is good now, health-wise.
Health-wise, yeah.
But there's other things that you did too to get you on the right track. The depression medication, the kidney procedure, which in its own right was quite an adventure, was it not?
Absolutely. They didn't put me out.
Now, were they supposed to put you out?
They told me they were going to.
Now, does that mean you were going to be in a twilight state?
Man, I thought it was going to be like colonoscopy out.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
yeah. Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You only feel like you're asleep for a second, and then, but no, I was awake.
I will tell. I will. It's off the subject just a little bit. I have to tell the whole story because if I just tell part of the story, people will think poorly of me. I had some problems, intestinal problems, so I had to have some colonoscopies. And I will tell you, I'm not going to say I looked forward to them, but I almost did because I got to take the medication. That medication that they give you is magical. It's the same stuff they gave Michael Jackson so he could go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to tell you, brother, I can understand why he looked forward to going to bed every night.
Oh, yeah. It's a great sleep.
Yeah. And it's not long at all, but you wake up and you think, you know what? I've been asleep for 8 hours. I feel like I've been asleep for 8 hours, but you've been asleep for 25, 30 minutes.
Yep.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? The name of the drug escapes me. I can't think of what it is.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, but it's but it is marvelous.
Right.
And you thought that's what you were going to get.
Yes, I thought I was going to be totally asleep.
Maybe you got the generic brand of that.
Well,
it didn't work.
Then after, when they got me in the room is when they told me that it was going to just be a local. I was like, and so I'm on the table all strapped up with, this steaming hot rod shoved up my penis at the time, and I'm not thinking about anything else but that.
Sure.
So, yeah. I didn't even.
They didn't put you under to do that. Just the thought of them. Just the thought of them going to do that. You would want to be under. You would think.
Absolutely.
And why didn't they put you under?
God, I don't know. But
insurance wouldn't pay for it. Or was there a reason?
You know what? That's what I think. I think the insurance company probably would not approve it. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you next time.
If there is a next time, you're going to be in La La Land.
It's going to be in writing. We're going to talk about it beforehand.
You mentioned the story of them trying to install a catheter. I'll just say that while you're awake, you know what's going on, and they're telling you to relax. You said, how can you do that?
You can't. I tensed up so hard. I was sore the next day from being so tense.
I guess so. But at the end of the procedure, it all turned out with a happy ending.
Yes. I mean, I had to stay in the hospital a little while longer until they could figure out my blood pressure. Because it didn't go down right away. But, yeah, it was shortly after that. Well, then I went for one follow-up visit with the doctor. And it was basically just to tell him I needed my medication sent to Wildwood, Missouri instead of Butte, Montana, and told him what I was doing, and he wished me well and said he would maybe help me find a physician here
And when did you move from Montana back here to the Midwest?
I started on July 20th.
Okay.
Last month.
Okay.
Yeah, it took a couple days.
Okay, so less than a month.
Right. And I got once FedEx found out, and my human resources person
That's your
heard the
employer.
story, correct. The story brought her to tears, and she told me she would do anything that she could to help me get back home. And I was transferred, not transferred, but I had accepted another job in St. Charles within 7 days. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was going to be the reason I put in for this transfer at the time I did, because I thought it was going to take a couple months, and I wanted to spend the entire summer in Montana because it is beautiful there.
Summers in Montana, I've never been there. That's one of the few places I've never been. But everyone I talk to says it is simply magical and beautiful during the summertime.
Correct.
So you'd hope maybe you'd be moving back in maybe October. Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, when it starts to get cold.
Right.
But instead, they moved right smack dab in the middle of Nirvana.
July, yeah. I started last Monday, August 5th.
But to be fair, this has been a very mild summer for us. It has. It's not been that hot.
I heard it was hot a few weeks ago, but
well, we've had a week or two here or there,
right.
But for the most part, it's been fine. Highs
right.
in the 80s, lows in the 60s, many nights.
Right.
Which, this is August 10th. Okay,
right.
It was 65 degrees this morning when I woke up.
That's not bad at
No,
all.
not at all. It's supposed to be close to 90 today, which this is August. Okay,
right.
It's not going to be sunny and 75 like in Montana.
Correct. Correct.
But you had other health problems too, and you thought that was related to the high blood pressure. It had to do with testosterone.
Correct. Actually, I knew that had to do with the depression, because that is when you watch the commercials for, all of the people that are trying to sell their testosterone medicine, that's the first thing on the list is depression, belly fat, blah, blah, sleeping all the time. I was sleeping 15 hours a day. I was gaining weight. I couldn't lose weight, even with diet and exercise. That was the key for me that I knew that something was wrong. Was I was exercising, and I went on a 5-day fast just to see, because I back in my younger days, if I went on a 5-day fast, I'd lose 5 pounds.
Sure.
Here I gained a pound.
Wow.
So that's when I went to the doctor, and I found out that I was low on testosterone. And this is when I went to the doctor when I was 50, when I got my first, I didn't get my first, I got my third colonoscopy at 50, but I knew I needed one. So
now you weren't just getting it because you got that wonderful medicine that put you out.
No. I simply did it because I was 50, and everybody said that's what you're supposed to do at 50.
And you are.
Uh-huh.
You're supposed to.
But that's when I first told my doctor here, I was still living in Missouri, that, I thought I was low, and he gave me a test, and I was way low. I was down to like 250, and for a guy our age, we're supposed to be about 800. So he even asked me, he goes, "How are you making it to work?" And I was like, "Dude, that is all I got.
Yeah.
I make it to work. Then I come home, I take a nap, I wake up, I eat, I go back to bed. That is my normal everyday day." And he's like, "How long have you been like this?" And I go, "A couple years now." And so I started on the shots, and everything was going well. I lost about 60 pounds with no diet or exercise.
See, now you told me that, and to me, you look about the same as you did when you left, but you were up and down.
Correct.
What was your top weight?
260.
And what are you now?
Right now I'm about 218 before I left here, but I've been down to 195 on the test.
260. Damn, that's fat.
Yeah.
For you.
I was big. And it was all gut too. It wasn't like, I was, big.
It wasn't arms and legs and chest. It was
correct.
just like you're a bowling ball.
And that's another thing too. Another symptom of it. If you see a guy, our age, and they do have just belly fat, that's a big key right there, that they are low.
Well, you mentioned guys our age, and we're men, and we tend to think that we're bulletproof, that we're invincible, that we can't have problems, and if we do, we just fix them, because we always have. Like you said, now you get a little bit fat, well, you stop eating, or you exercise a little bit more, and